Have you ever heard of a girl being sold not to be a slave, but to be a wife? It happened not too long ago in a small, dusty village outside Oyo Town. Zara was not born lucky. She was born with eyes that could not see into a family that could barely feed itself. The seasons were hard, the rains became shy, and the earth no longer gave food easily. In the end, her family made a decision that many would call cruel. They gave her away, for a price, to a man nobody in the village really understood. Leon, the rich man from the city who rarely smiled. They said he lived in a glass house so big you could get lost inside. Some whispered that he had no heart left at all. When Zara arrived at Leon's estate, she carried nothing but a small cloth bag and the memory of her mother's last words. "Be strong, my daughter. Not all prisons have walls." At first, Zara thought she would be treated like property. But Leon was distant, not cruel. Silent, not violent. Days turned into weeks. The house was big and cold, like a waiting room for something she didn't understand. There were servants who spoke in low voices when they passed by. "She's the one," they would say. "She doesn't know about the contract." What contract? Zara had nothing but questions, and no one dared answer. But Zara was not foolish. Even though she could not see the world, she could feel it. She could feel the heavy sadness Leon carried, like a coat he could not take off. She could hear it in the way his footsteps slowed at night. She could feel it in the way he sometimes lingered outside her door but never entered. One evening, while feeling her way through the long corridors, Zara stumbled upon a locked room, and that is when everything began to change. She realized she was not just a wife. She was a piece in a game she didn't know was being played. But Zara, she had something they did not expect. A heart too stubborn to break. A spirit too wild to cage. What would you have done if you were in Zara's place? Would you run? Would you fight? Or would you dare to stay and change your own fate? The real story of Zara and Leon, how a blind village girl shook the walls of Billionaire's heart, is one that reminds us, not all battles are fought with sight. Some are fought with soul. I'll be in the comments, waiting to hear what you would have done. Your thoughts, your theories, even your own village stories. I'm listening. But the story of Zara and the locked room was not finished yet. One night, when the Harmattan winds howled outside like old spirits, Zara followed the sound of broken music. It was coming from the locked room. The door was left open, just a little. Enough. Inside, she heard not the voice of a rich man, but the weeping of a boy trapped in a man's body. There, in the middle of the room, was Leon, sitting on the cold floor, holding an old photograph in his hands, whispering a name only the wolves knew. Zara did not walk away. She sat down quietly beside him, not speaking, not questioning. For once, silence was enough. That was the night Leon's walls began to crack. Bit by bit, like an old dam during the first heavy rain, he let the truth spill out. Leon had once loved a woman, and lost her in a way too painful to carry. Everyone he trusted had betrayed him for his wealth. He had come to believe love was nothing but a trick the world played on fools. Zara listened, not with her ears alone, but with her heart. And Leon, for the first time in many years, found someone who did not want his money, did not pity him, did not expect anything back. In Zara's blindness, he found a woman who truly saw him. And in Leon's silence, Zara found a man who, like her, was just trying to survive. Weeks became months. The house that once felt like a cold museum became alive with small joys. Fresh bread smells in the morning, laughter in the halls, a garden growing outside where once only stones lived. Leon asked her one day, with no lawyers, no contracts, no hidden papers, "Stay because you want to, not because you have to." And Zara, with a heart now sure as the rising sun, answered, "I am not blind to who you are anymore. I stay for the man, not the mansion." Some said later that Leon paid for Zara to have surgery, to restore her sight. Some said she refused, saying, "I see all that matters already." Others say she accepted, but chose to keep her eyes closed the first time she saw him, just to remind him that love had found him even in darkness. No matter which story you choose to believe, the truth is simple. Zara was never the girl who was sold. She was a woman who bought her own freedom, with kindness. And Leon, he was a man who learned that the richest treasure was not gold, not houses, not land, but trust, once lost and then found. Every village has its secrets. Every heart has its battles. What would you have done if you were Leon? If you were Zara? Share your thoughts. I'll be waiting in the comments, listening, just as Zara once listened, with her whole heart.